Hey people, welcome to Fourby4diesel Sundays. This is Fourby4diesel. It's not diesel, but it's going to help get you educated. So hopefully you can avoid some problems, learn on diagnosing, and maybe fix some stuff yourself. Now, this is completely off topic. That's why it's called Fourby4diesel Sundays. I think we've got a playlist called that. I've been a bit slack, but it's now the Christmas, New Year holidays. You don't know what Sunday it is. Could have been ages ago, but what we've got here is a pool robot, swimming pool robot. This is the ZODIAC CX20. It was really good value for money for 750 bucks about 5 years ago, but we've had a few issues with it. Pretty straightforward to diagnose. So I'm gonna, during this video, run through the normal problems that we've found from our research and our experience, which is limited, but what have you found actually with YouTube videos? Because what I've found with you, if I've ever searched something to find some information on anything and looked on a YouTube video, my biggest disappointment is, right, and this is why you subscribe and turn the bell on here, my biggest disappointment is you search, you see the thumbnail or you see the heading and you watch the video and you don't get the information you need. So I'm trying to be careful to avoid that, and that's why I waffle on a lot or ramble on a lot or talk too much or whatever like we are now. But this is designed for the people that want to learn stuff, and every word is gonna, you know, a bit of wisdom, you know what I mean? You know, help get you educated. And I'm not saying I know everything. I've said this before. Look, the tools you need for the job, if I remember correctly, are a Phillips set. And the reason I remember is because we've changed the motor block on this CX20. So on the control unit, which isn't here in the picture, it's a separate unit. When you've got a problem, it blinks. It's a diagnostic, just like the vehicles and this sort of thing. Maybe a bit old school, hasn't got a, you know, screen that comes up and tells you what's wrong, but it goes one flash, two flashes, or three flashes. And there's a few different problems that can be under those. I'm sure you can Google CX20 manual and work it out. But what I'm going to tell you is our first problem was in the motor block now. So we stripped it down, we opened up the motors, two motors in there. One to run the pump, if you like, that's the water flowing through here, and one to drive the unit, okay? It's all built into one motor block, but there's two separate motors. Long story short, because you love it when a long story is short, we found a little spring that holds the contact or the brush or whatever on the motor. The spring was broken. So what we did, we got in there, we modified it, we fixed it all up. It was awesome. We got it working again. But for whatever reason, I can't remember what we did wrong. We did something wrong anyway, and bingo, water got in, and that was that. What did we do wrong? I really can't remember. I think there's some moisture sachets in there. I think I forgot to put those in, and it probably wouldn't have mattered, but I couldn't leave well enough alone. So we got it working, it was all fixed. But then I couldn't sleep at night because I left these moisture sachets out. I think I opened it up again to put those back in. And then I had a different friend here, and there's two ways the O-ring can go on when you put the motor block together, and one's the right way and one's the wrong way. It's a bit of a bad design because you can easily, you know, I'm with some pretty smart people when we did this, a couple of different people at the same time, myself and, you know, both engineers one way or another. They both have different, one said, I reckon it goes that way, the other one, this is separately. And I'm like, well, I sort of agreed with both of them because the way I saw it, it could go either way. So long story short, the second time we did it was the wrong way. Water got in, and within 5 or 10 minutes it stopped, and that was that. And I just cracked it and ordered a motor block. It was 300 bucks. You get two new motors, that's the good news. So now I've invested, after a few years, I've invested another 300 bucks. Hopefully that was unlucky and we go okay for a while. All the rest of it's just plastic. The tracks seem to be wearing okay, you know, not too bad at all. So they look like, if they've done 5 years, they've got a bit more left in them. So that's not really a common problem. I'll tell you what the common problem is, and this is what we're faced with now. And in working on it, I went, you know what I think is going to happen? Look at this lead. See the way it's hanging there like that? So this is the lead, and this floats. You know, that floats. This is your float, and that's the idea, is to hold the lead like that, right? And what happened? The wire breaks in. It's a common problem with all robots. So I'll give you the first tip. Is if you've got or getting to ever get a pool and a pool robot, whatever you do, tell everybody, don't pull it out of the pool like this by the lead, because even if you're doing it softly, it's pulling on the lead. But most of the problem is the robot's constantly going backwards and forwards. So what do you think the lead's doing? Yep, it's going like that, and then it's going like this, and it's going like that. And what do you think happens with a piece of wire? Go and get a coat hanger, bend it back and forwards while I talk to you, and by the end of the video, you'll know what happens, metal fatigue. Okay, so that's what happens here. So what we really need to do, Zodiac, you know, because they've got engineers as well, haven't they? They should know. They really need to strengthen this up and have a rubber sock that starts off thick at the bottom and slowly tapers off, and maybe have a bigger float or something, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm on the fly here, I'm thinking like that, you know what I mean? Surely someone can think of a better system so that this doesn't happen. Now, long story short, when I did the motor block, I was looking at parts, and on eBay I could get one of these leads for $100. I went, well, you know, that's not too bad. Here it is. Here's a replacement lead. Beautiful, right? Genuine, right? $100. That was not long before the C word, you know? The C word, 5 letters with a 19 after it. Anyway, let's say that was 2019 I was looking at, maybe 20 at the latest. Guess how much they are now? They're all $300, right? So don't tell me about 5 and 10%. I'll tell you that's 300%. Anyway, lucky because I know people or whatever. I think I picked it up for about, I might have got this for about $200. I can't remember what I paid, maybe 180, but look, it's expensive, right? So what we want to do, we've got the same situation here. The lead's going to be going back and forwards, and look, I don't really know what to do to help prevent it. So what I'm going to do for now is we're going to get into this. Yeah, it's going to be a longer video. It's going to have all this information. All the tools you probably need is a Phillips head to put things back together softly. I'm going to use the driver to zip it apart. So let's get into it, and I'll show you the motor block, the lead, so that you know how simple it is that you could probably work on these yourself. So first thing I want to do is take the filter out. Okay, there's your filter. Just put that over there out of the way. I probably might need some, you know, while we're at it, we'll take this, there's two, you're not going to see every detail, but you'll figure it out. I'm taking out a couple of Phillips heads, right? Basically, I don't know what all these parts are called, but all that matters is, all you need to know, things get a bit stuck because, you know, they've been sitting there a while. I think this should come off now anyway. 2 screws, right? I'm just going to put those there, and I reckon that should come off like that, right? And things could do with a clean every now and then. Like, see this, see all the hair, see all the, you know, whatever that is, right? Things need to be cleaned out every now and then. Yep, that's turning okay, but I can see on the end of the motor block, there's rust starting already. So things certainly aren't going to last forever. Now, I believe what we have to do, I don't want to pull too many things apart, right? So I'm sure there's a, I'm going to get the string out from around this because that's not going to help things. So first thing you do, we'll call this the fan. I think that might come off actually. Does it come off? I'm pretty sure it does, but might not want to come off at the moment. I'm pretty sure if you pull that, there you go, right? Pretty sure, you like the old pretty sure. We just want to clean all this hair, there you go. The kid's hair is what it is, out of there, right? This has probably been run, oh, so I should probably say, so what we did a repair, bit of a repair in here, and I said, look, we can't get a lot of build up in here where it breaks because there's no room for it. So the unit needs to be redesigned to get to that. Bit of compressed air could be handy. So luckily we have a workshop here and we just go, that wasn't planned, but it's right here at hand. Sorry about the noise. Now, what we need to do probably next, one of the next things, we need to get the handle off, and 1 screw goes in from each direction. So we're going to get, and I think all the screws are the same from memory. So I'm just going to put them all in a pile over here. You don't need to see where they are. Trust me, they're there. Right, like that. Cool. Might lose it, whatever. Pretty sure this handle just splits in 2 now or something like that, or don't even need to split. I just carefully lifted it off like that. All right, now I've got to find where that screw went. Where did that go? Because I heard it fall. Certainly not left in there. First thing I want to do is find that screw. Where did that screw? And that's why we're working. We're actually on the back of the ute. Makes for a really good workbench. I don't know where that screw went, so that's not easy. But it will turn up in the wash. All right, 2 more screws here. I should have used the longer thing, but motorbiked it a little bit dodgy because I'm trying to save time. Otherwise you might have to wait for me to go get another one. 2 more. Basically just rip all the screws out. Now, this is the problem. When you turn it upside down, it will be leaning on that cable unless you hang it over. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hang it, we're right on the edge of the back of the ute just here. So I'll be just spinning it around because I think we've got to turn it upside down now. That screw's got to be coming out somewhere sooner or later. I'm hearing it still. Okay. It's all got to come back to me sooner or later. I'm not remembering, that's right. Okay, so the tracks cover some of the screws. So in behind here, oh, let me see what you can see. You're right, you can't see everything I'm doing, but like always, it's mainly the torque anyway, right? I want to take this cover off. And this is what kind of holds it all together, right? So I'll get it, because I don't care about this lead, I'll get it back in the picture. I'm going to repair this lead anyway. And I could be wrong about what the problem is. So once we take those 4 screws out, from memory, this plastic cover will just lift out and probably have my screw in there somewhere. I know there are those screws, don't lose any of them. Again, all the same. So we'll put them all together, put that over there with the other parts. This is the motor block assembly here, and that's what we need to get to the leads. So just doing a bit of a turn it around. Oop, that screw is still in there somewhere. A few leaves falling out, we'll get rid of that. Come on, where's this screw? Keeps jingling around. Anyway, all right, now let me just think for a minute, because this isn't one of those videos where people edit and they cut everything out. And that's the important part you needed to know. You need to see me thinking, going, these are the screws you don't want to undo. Don't undo those, because that's what seals your motor block. That's where your O-ring is. And if you ever do open it to fix one, take careful attention and photos to where the O-ring goes. And I would suggest cleaning it thoroughly and using the moly coat on the O-ring and just nicely nip those up. And if you're not sure, just get a whole heap of RTV and do that, because then you'll be to be sure. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm not undoing those screws. Now, I'm pretty sure I'll put a couple more screws and this is going to split to the side. So I just got to remember where they were again, because I told you straight, I'm not the expert on this at all. As you can see, I'm trying to remember. It seemed easier last time I did it, but I'm sure, is it those ones in there? Yeah, I think that's what it is actually. Here we go. Right, so inside the box here, you can actually even probably just loosen these off and get away with that. I'm going to go like that to kick those screws out. Put them on the pile over there. I'm going to work blind now. One. That's what holds the tracks on the side in. So what will happen now is, so you'll see if I go kind of like, that'll just, I'm going to spin it upside down anyway, because things aren't working out for me. But you know when it hasn't been apart, actually no, there's this plastic that comes off as well. Hang on, more screws from memory. Hang on, more screws. Oh yeah, down in behind here, right? But I'm pretty sure to get that off, we can spread this and get the rolls out first. So let's do that. I'll just spin it over again. And what you can kind of do is now just spread this apart, just gently enough just to get these out, right? This is how I do it anyway, right? Now there's probably a better way. See, there they are. And they say these wear out and wear down. That's 5 years, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's why I've decided it's worth spending money on this thing, because the wear and tear is good. They're not wearing out. This is not, everything else is plastic and I don't see any wear and tear issues. So I'm just going to spread that one gently, like I did the other one, and pop that out. Put this one over this side. I think they're all the same and it doesn't matter anyway. Now, I don't believe there'll be anything holding this together, but for some reason we need to take out the screws from each end. See those ones there? I'll get those out. It's actually, you think you're pulling a lot of screws out, but it's not too bad a job. The key thing is, if you really cared about your robot, you'd put it down on some carpet, right? And the key thing is, have a helper or some blocks of wood or both to keep this bent lead. And when I put it back together, this could be a long video. I'll make it all one video, all right? But when I put it back together, I'm going to be very careful of the new lead. I don't want to be, even though, look, sitting the weight of it bending at once isn't going to hurt it. It's the constant back and forward. It's just not going to last. So I can tell you, this is what's going to go wrong on your robot. Now, let me see. Let's see if I remember how this comes. Kind of like that, right? There you go. It just pops off like that. Yeah, nothing broken. I'm just shaking off a bit of rubbish. Right, beautiful. We'll just pop that there at that side. And this one probably just sort of about the same. Something like that, you know. Like, oh, I'm not even really... There you go. So it just falls off in the end, right? So there's the other end. I'm going to pop that one over there for now. Now, where's this screw? There was a spare screw behind. Whoop, stands like there's still, so this is, that's that side coming off, right? So let's just pop that over there as well. It's getting crazy, yeah? All right, and there's the other side. Just carefully, right? I just want to, I don't know if we had a screw there or not, right? So we've got that, and remember those two screws I took in there, that allows this top, actually there's one more screw or two we've got to take out. Technically, before we took that one out, we should take these two out, so, because at risk of breaking it, so let's just quickly do that. Yep. Mate, I'm a diesel mechanic, I'm a motor mechanic, I'm a vehicle technician, not a pull robot technician, but I tell you what, if you let them do it, they'll be rougher than this. Right, so we just get this piece off out of the way, right? The sucker, whatever it is, right? And then this plastic just lifts straight off, right? Look at that, right? It's completely disassembled. So if there's a screw in there somewhere, it's not going to be far away. This is your motor block that we've been talking about, right? So this is the main, so that extra screw that I saw on the bench must have been here. So the cable, this is the problem, right? See what happens? It's just 2 screws to hold in. There'll be an O-ring there as well. See all this rust and corrosion? This is why it is important, and it says in the instructions, right? Clean everything, right? It is important that when you take it out of the pool, you don't leave it in there all the time. Take it out and give it a rinse off with fresh water, because whether it's a salt pool or chlorine pool, it is corrosive, and see the rust and everything starting here already? It's got me concerned, right? So biggest concern is, can I get this thing back together? All right, so what we want to do now is, I'm just going to grab the compressed air for a minute. So we get this job done without me pausing. Clean work area, yeah? This is about as rough as it gets. This is live. This is, I didn't plan anything. I didn't read a manual. I haven't opened for a year or two since last time, whatever we did, you know, replacing the motor block and trying to fix up the lead. That all happened at once. I got a bit rusty. I don't know how long it was, really. Fourby4diesel SUNDAYS. I want to clean that. It's doing my head in. Just give me a rag or something, I reckon. Some WD is the closest thing I've got. I just want to go like that. Just spray something on there and give it a, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It spins, right? It's just, yeah, you know what I mean? You don't want to have too much WD-40 in your pool, but then you don't want to have too much broken pool robots, you know? How much money do you invest into something before you ditch it, right? So, here we are. Got to take these 2 screws out. So that's what we're looking at. There's 2 screws are still there. Right, just those ones are the different ones. They're a bit longer, I think, than the others. Let's compare. Yep, correct, right? So all the other screws look the same. That's what the plug looks like. It's all watertight, right? And this is where it's difficult. So if you wanted to repair this, the best way to do it, you need someone that can, hey John, are you watching this video? John F, you know what I'm talking about. What I'm gonna do, because you're the man, rather than waste this cable, I'm confident that you will know how to open all this plug up, because I'm not that guy, and get these pins off and whatever, and basically strip the cable back to here somewhere is what you want to do. And so what you do, you strip it down, you look at it, you take your measurements and you go, okay, no worries. And then you strip it back to here, you just shorten it a little bit and you redo it, and you try and add a little bit of extra, you know, heat shrink type thing, you know, what's happened here. But you can only do what you can do, and it's amazing this has lasted as long as it did, but you can see how it crushes into our repair, because that's what it does. So, all right, so we're just going to put that aside because we don't need that at the moment. We need this. Oh, look at, there's water in there too. Oh no, I hope it's not that. That'd be bad news if it wasn't the lead. Have a look at that. I just want to show you, look. Water in there. Let me get some air. Look, I'm going to go as far as to say I reckon that, you know, water gets into these things. I still believe it's the lead, but I could be wrong. Just going to go find some electrical contact cleaner and give that a bit of a spray with that also. All right, where are you? Electrical contact cleaner, there you go. Probably what we should be using to clean our MAF sensors, because we're getting ripped off on that $30 CRC stuff, where we should probably just be using something like that anyway. But I'm going to put it out here in the light, because I'm working on the edge of the light. The light's good, and just go that a spray and a bit more air again. And I kind of feel like putting a tiny little bit of CRC or something to help prevent any corrosion for later down the track. So I'm just going to go and grab some inox, is going to be the choice. Where are you? Here you go. Now, see, this is where people edit videos and they cut things out and they go, "Wow," and then you go, "Wow, how did you do that?" and whatever. Well, you know, this is where I'm trying to do the, and don't lose that pin from the end of the motor block there. Can you see that? Let me see what you can see. Yep, don't lose that. There's a little pin there, don't lose that. So I just want to kind of go, let's just do a test. Where's that rag? I want to just a kind of little, like a little dab, you know? Because I don't reckon it's going to hurt it. It's only going to help. It's going to help lube it up and help prevent some corrosion, help it last longer. So it's time to get the new cable out of the bag as far as I'm concerned. Like, this all looks good, you know. Rome wasn't built in a day, and hopefully we can get this robot back together in a reasonable amount of time. Here's all that pasta. Here's our new cable. So what I'm going to do is just, if anyone wants to know, you will do the part number RO632100. Complete floating cable, 15 metres. 15 metres. I thought this was only a 10 metre cable, but anyway, it must be 15. Anyway, 15 metre cable, and you can rip the bag open, or you can go to the top. You know what my dad always said, mate, you know, kids always in a hurry, yeah. You know what, so let's just slow down. I'm just going to open the bag at the top. There's some staples there to rip my fingers open on. Yep, thanks for that. You know, is everyone having a laugh? Remember that? No, you know, we're all keen, we're getting in there, we're ripping the box open, right? And he just wants to gently open the box, and guess what? It makes sense. Guess what? They were right, weren't they? So everyone needs to respect your elders, because they know what's going on. Now, this end of the cable, I'm just sorting out the cable because it's got a zip tie holding the middle section, and I'm trying to sort of just untangle the two ends. You know what it's like. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Right, there's the end that plugs into the unit. This is the end we want, right? Does it look the same? Ish, more or less. Right. Let's have a look at it. Right, there it is. Right. So you can see we've added in our extra. Kind of doesn't quite look right, does it? Because it was meant to squash over that. So that's where we've added the extra. Shortened it. So yeah, you know what? I had a mate sort that out for me. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I'm sure it's all good. But I believe it comes with screws, so it doesn't matter about the screws. We'll just spare screws. Remember, we've got 2 spare screws in case I forget. Just let me know in the comments how many spare screws I've got. And I'm just looking at the thing to put it the right way. It looks like the flat goes on the inside. Yep, flat on the inside, so the plug can only go one way. Always gently with plugs, just gently wiggle him on like that. Right. We want to make sure it's all the way home. Right, if you want, we can even take it off again and just have a look, right? It's a new plug, make sure everything's looking happy, right? It's not going to hurt it to put it on and off a few times to clean up those connections, because I haven't got anything to get in there and clean those up, so you know what I mean? We want to make sure it's all the way down. And no, we're not doing it up with the impactor. That's just for stripping things apart, okay? Yeah, let's just see. Right, this is going to be important to make sure you're all the way down with these, but not over, again, plastic. So once you get there, that's it. There's no point forcing it once you get there, right? They take quite a bit actually. Once it gets there, it can take a little bit more. Don't over tighten it, but you get my drift. This isn't about fixing full robots. This is about having a think, having a crack, having a go in general. I mean, you call someone out to do this. It's not going to be worth the $750 you put into the robot in the first place, right? Now, who can remember what goes back together next? Okay, I'm pretty sure a bit of compressed air, just blow out all the, it's kind of like sandy stuff. Yeah, a bit of a blowout. Yeah. We'll give it a bit of a clean up here. Let's give that a bit of a clean around the hole. And if I remember correctly, this sat on here one way or the other. Right. Probably like that. Can it go the other way? Let's have a look, because people are here to, no, can't go that way, right? Wrong way. Wrong way, mate. Okay, it only goes one way, so you don't have to worry about that. So I'd suggest we put that in. Those two screws I took out prematurely earlier on, you know, that was 25 minutes ago. And thanks for sticking with us. I hope you're enjoying the video. Anybody that has a problem with a CX20 Zodiac robot should love this video. They should be liking and sharing and taking it to all the pool websites. You know, I don't do videos on this, but you know, on this, you know, we do videos on other stuff. But the point is, you will get the result in the end. I've told you all what the problems with these robots are. I did a lot of research on them, and oh yeah, no, they're rubbish. And why are they rubbish? They're rubbish because this lead always breaks. But you know what? It took probably many hundreds of hours and quite a few years before this one broke, so I reckon it did pretty well. Okay, of course we don't want it to break again. Now what goes on next? What am I forgetting? Okay, put this plastic aside. We've got to get these side tracks back on. And I reckon each side, that famous word reckon, I was going to say I reckon they're the same as each other. Right. Oh no, they're different and they can only go one way. I'll show you why. Right, so this is what I mean. You know, other videos, they just cut and they don't show you, right? See, look, can you see, everyone see the difference? See right in the middle of the picture, right? Only one side's got the, for the motor, right? The motor's around this side now. You know that pin that I told you, don't let that fall out. So what we've got to do, it's in the right position at the moment. That should just go bang on there like that. What holds it on? Those two screws, of course. Remember we took those out? But we're going to leave them loose because we need to flex to get those tracks back in. So I don't know if I pulled it apart or put it together in the right order, but I'm just using my natural average abilities. Because you know what, there's people that are better at this, they would have done it better, quicker. But I'll tell you, when I looked for it, I couldn't find the videos on it. Right, so I'm kind of going to do these up actually, because from memory, it still flexes enough until you've got that support plate on the bottom. Remember that black thing? So right, I'm going to do it up, at least this side, because this side's got the motor and it's got a lot, it's locked in there, right? Let me just lift it up and see. There's a bit of flex there anyway, right? Until you get that bottom plate on. So what we need to do now, we need to get this other side, because it's what crushes the cable in place. And hopefully we're right with the cable being small like that. Yeah, see these little flat divot-y things? From memory, the other cable, originally when it got pulled apart, that's what it had crush marks in this thin section here, right? Because it was sort of, oh, this doesn't ring a bell. Like I said, I had a good friend of mine who doesn't mind a bit of electrical and repairs like that, you know. Maybe he's got a bit more experience and patience with it than me. I've got a bit of patience. I haven't got a lot of, have I got, let me know in the comments how much patience I've got. Do you have to, because I reckon, got another good friend of mine and he loves fixing stuff, right? And I reckon if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have pulled it apart, you know. So yeah, well, preferably with a hand screwdriver putting it together. Maybe I'm just doing it for the video, right? I'm not afraid to get the tool up, but you got to just be, you got to know your tools, right? So, I don't know, you got to put it on. You got to put it on doing up first. This one's fairly new. I don't know my tools. But see, I just went light on the trigger. There's no hammering going on, you know. A bit of slipping, bit of, we call that motorbiking. That's what they call it. See what I mean about putting it upside down now? This is going, I don't want this to get yanked on and bent and that sort of thing, right? So this is where I'm going to sit it over the edge of the back of the ute. So you know what we're looking at here? Pretty straightforward. So, because what I want to do now is get these wheel track things back. I'm just looking around to see what else. Is that other thing, yeah, that goes upside down, the flat plate. Nothing else really goes up here. We put our two screws in with it. So it's time to spin it as far as I'm concerned. If you followed the workshop manual, they'd probably be telling you to spin it. Right, so my cable ain't getting squashed. It's hanging over the back of the edge of the ute. I'm just making sure it's nice and neat. Yep. Right, so we're on the edge of it now, right? So you can't see that, but it doesn't matter. Take my word for it. The main thing is the info, right? We said these will go either way, so let's just see if we can gently flex that out. Remember I said do up the screws, it won't matter yet. There they are, they're back on. All right. Now, before I go too far, actually, I could have gone, that might have been too far already. So I kept forgetting about this plastic thing. We'll call it the vacuum. I think that wheel we just put on is in the way of putting the screws, but I'm sure we can manage. We can get to it, but I probably shouldn't have done that. So look, let's put this one on and just flex it out gently. So then we go, it just makes me feel better because I've got less stuff sitting on the back of the ute. You know when you go, oh no, I pulled this, where does it all go now? You don't worry, I do that as well. It's all part of the fun. So what I'm gonna do now is just pop this one back out again. Just makes you good at it, right? Just gently. All right, let's pop that out. Just makes you good at it, more practice, you know? No hurry, whatever you do, take it slow. Do you think I'm in a hurry? I'm not in a hurry. I'm doing it as quick as I can to not keep you any longer than we need to. But it just takes time to share all the... Oh, whoops, that's what I mean about the tools. Don't do that, I got lucky that time, right? What are we gonna edit that out? Oh no, look what Anthony did, right? Right, so do it with the, I don't think this one will need tightening. I think that's probably gone straight through the plastic. Let's just back it off again and just see, yeah. Just do it like that. Be patient, do it by hand. See, maybe I'm showing you what not to do as well. And that's a good way to do things. Now, can we put these things on, or do we have to put the plastic on? Hang on. Yeah, no, I'm still stuffing it up, right? Because these plastic things, I think we need the wheels off to get to those screws for those. There's got to be someone watching this video that works for a tool shop one day and he'll be going, mate, check this guy out, putting it back together, back on again. I could have done that. Well, mate, where were you? Where were you? That's what I want to know. Get your videos up because I haven't seen them. Okay. I'm just going to look at these, try and compare the pair. Once again, this time it looks the same to me. One side says Zodiac, one doesn't. Looks the same to me. We're about to find out if they're wrong. Right, one goes on each end, obviously. They just slip in something along the lines of like, hang on, something like that. That's it, right? Just like that. Yeah. There'll be 2 screws to go in there. Like I said, use the screwdriver, not the impact driver, like I am. Do as I say, not as I do. You've heard that saying before, haven't you? I'll just gently like that this time. I might not have even hooked in the plastic at the other end properly. I could be pulling this whole thing apart again. That'd be disastrous, wouldn't it? Because, you know, at the other end there, is that hooked in? I don't know, because I haven't got it up. Yeah, I've got a feeling it's not. I think it's NQR, not quite right. Oh yeah, I was right that it's not quite right. Look, this top end is not. I wonder if we have to pull the screws out or if we can just pop it in now. So what we should do is get a clue, taking them back out again. All right, switching the tool ready for action. All right, so this is a good video. Other people edit and go, look, we've got it all back together now. They've got to be hooked in at that end first, right? So I'm doing it up on its side. I'm looking after the wire as much as I can, right? As much as I can, while now I'm wasting time and people are going, mate, I mean, people are just going to enjoy their cup of tea or their beer or their gin or whatever they're on. Right, and that's what it's all about. Just sit back, watch something that's educational instead of rubbish on that other, you know, on that other system. And because I'm pretty relaxed, you know, some people are going, why isn't this guy in the video? It's not about me. I don't need to be in the video. The video is about the job, not me. It's not about me. I'm here to help. So here we go. Let's get this end back on here. Hopefully that goes on just like the other one. Let's just go. You know, when you pull it apart, look, things can be a bit stuck just because they haven't been off for a while, right? Or forever, right? Bang. There it is, right? There it is. No screws needed. No, there's 2 screws to go in there. So we're going to do that. So this is the order. I don't know what order I pulled it apart, but this would be a good order to put things back together. All right. And if I forget, have I forgotten something? And there's people sitting back going, oh mate, I can't wait till he gets to the next step and he's got to pull that back off again. Could happen yet, so stick around, have a laugh. We're nearly there. Gently upside down again. Like I said, if you cared, you put some carpet down and something like that to look after the. But this one, I'm telling you, you know, it's a concrete pool. It works around. It's got scuffs and scratches everywhere. So for me, I don't care. Okay, I'm looking after it reasonably. Mainly, I don't want to bust it. There's a lot of plastic. The good thing about the plastic is, because it's plastic, it doesn't wear out, kind of thing. You know, it's just in water, wear and tear. It's like a plastic toy. See what I mean? These wheels are just, you know, it's all plastic. But if you're gentle with it and you don't break it, as I go to put it back together. All right, bang. Now what do we got left? We've got the handle, we've got the strainer, we've got this bottom cover and the fan, I'll call it the fan, the vacuum thing. We've got this left. A little bit, I'm gonna blow that again as well. So just try and keep it, keep things clean. I'll give it a bit of a clean as you go. This is a chlorine pool. We've got the ChemiGem, automatically feeds the acid and the, so just lift the tracks to get the, oh, there's that screw. It still didn't turn up. There it is. That would have been interesting. There it is, see? I forgot to make sure I found that, but yeah, there you go. This is what happens when you, so I'm a bit awkward as well, because to be quite honest, I'm on the back of the, I thought it's a good spot to get this video happening, you know what I mean? Where you can sort of see what's going on. We'll just adjust it around a little bit, there we go. So you can sort of see what's going on. So we've got all that, so we just need these 4 screws in to hold that together now, so let's do that. And then I reckon we, oh, nearly dropped one down the, can't whistle today, but yeah, down that one. Okay, need to get this sitting in the right spot. Drop those down the hole. Get that bloody impact driver, I mean screwdriver again. Right, you want to see me work? This is what's happening. We're working. Because you can't get people to do this stuff anymore. You've got to do it yourself. And if you do get someone, you'll be there for hours. They don't know what they're doing. They won't have parts. So it's good if everybody shares information like what I'm doing. Gather it while you can, because one day it might not work. Right? And you'll wish you knew things, and you won't be able to just go, hey Google this and hey Google that. You can do that at the moment. One day you might not be able to do that, right? That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Right? That looks good to me. There, no. So I reckon we're good to flip it back over now. Look, these tracks can't, that's what holds it all together at that end. So let's just gently lift it up and flip it back over. See what I mean about that wire? It needs some love. It needs a new design. It needs something. Right, so what can we do? Not much really. So here's our fan. So we've got those first 2 screws in the fan. It's all clean now, right? You know, as clean as it needs to be. There's a flat section. Make sure you put it in the right spot, and it'll just push in like that and lock in, right? So it doesn't spin. This will then go, this will only go one way. There's 2 screws already in, so we need to turn it so that that's it. You'll hear it lock in like you did. 2 screws. Now, who wants to come over for a swim? Okay. Okay, so dodgy brothers with, no, let's just not do that. Do as I do, not as I say. Do as I say, not as I do, and as I do. There you go. It was all because of the length. If I had the long one there, you know, the tradie one, you know, the extra long, I've got the, that's kind of with a little bit, you know, you got the short one, you a little bit. I was going to grab the long one. I thought, oh, that'll look dodgy because it's too long and wobbly and all that. But for this job, the long one would have been good. But then I wouldn't have got in there with the other one. So you kind of need you need the 2 of them. You need 3 actually. You need the full set, really. Right, just nice on the plastic. When you feel it get to the end, that's it, just stop. That's rock solid, it's not going anywhere. We've got 2 screws left, right? So we know where this goes. This is the thing, nearly ready for a test run. Filter's pretty clean, that's cool. Right, that's that. Keep 2 filters, so you got a spare. What I don't understand is, it just seems a bit wrong that this cable is sticking out there. You know what I mean? I feel that is meant to be in there. Problematic, to be quite honest, you know. What's gone wrong here? How have I ended up with, you know? Anyway, things have still got room to get worse before they get better. I really don't understand that. I want to put something around it. You know, I want to go get some hose and cut it, and I think that's what I'm going to do, to be honest. I'm going to look in the bag, make sure there's no, see what it says. You know what I mean? You know when you get something, I mean, I've got the part here now. I mean, here it is, and maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's the wrong floating cable. I don't know. But, you know, that's what it said on the listing. Oh, no. Yes, I have stuffed up. So guess what? Guess what, everybody? This is why you don't just put it together and chuck it in the pool. You should read the instructions first. Okay, everybody can have a laugh now. And all the CX20 experts, look at that, see? Oh no, so you know what that means? 40 minutes and I'm going to do it all again. But off camera, it's going to be a lot quicker. So basically what I'm going to say is we're just about done here. Follow the instructions. I've given you a lot of information. I hope you liked it. All we got to do is pop the handle on, and there's 2 screws. So we're obviously not doing that. And I just need to let you know whether it's fixed it or not. So maybe we'll just put it in the comments. I'll change the name, read the name of the video in the description. I'll let you know if it fixed it or not, but I'm certainly about to pull it all apart again without the camera running, without any talking. Literally, I'll have this apart and back together in 10 minutes with that cable in the correct setup like that, right? Just take a good look at that, right? Yeah, it makes sense. See, that's what I mean. When you've got a natural, when you do these things, I mean, I didn't notice until it got to this point, right? But at least I went, that doesn't seem right. What's going on here? Let me check the instructions. What would you have done? Put it in the comments. Anyway, guys, that's a video. You get the picture. I think I was unlucky with the motor block. I think the cable's a regular problem. So what you need to do is look after your cable, reinforce your cable perhaps. Perhaps they need to come with an update. So pretty poor that they haven't done that. Let's see how long this one lasts. I'll certainly be keeping the old one and getting that repaired, whether it's me, someone else, whatever, ready for next time. And because there will be a next time, unless the whole thing, you know, shags out again. And then, but you know, new robots, you're looking at, yeah, a lot more money now. They've gone up. Even this one's over $1,000. There's a big control situation going on who's allowed to sell them. Instead of being $750, they've got to be $1,250, and then you've got all the dearer robots. Thanks for watching. That's Fourby4diesel SUNDAYS, a little job for you, fixing things, disassemble, reassemble, diagnostic talk, use the flashing lights to diagnose it, have a Google, bada bing. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. See ya. No, in fairness, let's finish the video. So back to where we were. I'd say 10 to 15 minutes I've been. It is actually quite difficult. You can see this is how it's meant to sit. Makes more sense, but I'll give you the rundown, right? Because they give you this picture. Where did I put it? Let me find that piece of paper. It's underneath the robot. Where else would it be? Trying to suck my instructions away. Right, so there's obviously 2 different versions. There's the one with 1 pin, and there's one with 2, right? So maybe it was a later version. Not that, I don't think that part was the problem. Up here, the movement's the problem, not doing this. It doesn't matter. This is our version. So we've done that. Gets a little bit tight where it goes over at the spot there. So that's one issue. Difficult to hold it twisted and in place and get the side on. It is a bit fiddly to do that, but we got it done. And it says 5mm. What I want to say is, the important part, where the cover, the wheel assembly goes over the top, there's like a flat, and it has to go underneath the bottom of that. So basically, so that plastic's sitting at that dotted line at the bottom. So you have the cable, as long as you've got where the crushed area is, this thick stuff holding it so it's nice and tight. And that's what we've got. So if you ever do one, you'll see what I mean. If you don't, you'll know, read the instructions, right? So I believe we're back where we were other than putting the handle on. So we'll just grab the handle and pop it on. Into that bag, we don't need that. Again, just spread it a little bit. Always gently when you spread it. Okay, and I'm not making a good example of this because you know what, I've just done it twice and I'm a bit over it. You know what I mean? Okay, so it's kind of like that is what, you know, I don't know why I was bringing it on the end, but yeah, it's pretty easy, right? Then 1 screw goes in each side, and then we've got no screws left over. Was that screw in that side or that side? I actually need to have a look. And I'm not climbing up there. There we go. So 1 screw goes in this way. Is that meant to come a bit flusher? I don't know about that really. But that's in, so that's that. Flip it over that way. Drop that in there. Hold the bottom up so you don't break it. With the plastic just nicely. And guess what? Job done. That's a handle. There's the robot ready to go in the pool for a test run. So let's get it in there and see if it fixes it. Thanks for watching. And have a look at this sky, right? Look, the robot is operational. I'm going to show you in it, but just look at this sky. It's just crazy. Like, the weight. You know, we got some serious lightning storms and that going on here. Anyway, that's why the pool doesn't look too good at the moment. It's pretty dirty. The robot's running, as you can see. Just want to show you the evidence with the new lead, fully operational. It's been broken for 2 or 3 weeks, which is why it needs a bit of a cleanup in there, but not too bad. It'll be ready in a day or two. And I'm getting out of here before I get hit by lightning. Thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe, turn the bell on, and that's how to fix a CX20 robot. The regular problems and solutions. Catch ya. Have a look at that. Who loves a good storm, huh? That's why you hang around to the end. We're about to get hammered. It's just starting to come down. I'm doing 360. Look at the edge of it over there, right? I'm doing 360s. You can hear it. It's just starting to come down. Come on, show us some lightning before the end. You can hear it hitting the roof. Well, there's hail. It's about 10 mil. I'm looking at the ground. There's not much yet. Not worth showing you. We've got 10 mil hail. Might be a separate video, so subscribe, turn the bell on, and beware of our other channel, Fourby4 Adventures. It might be on there, same name. Instead of Fourby4diesel, Fourby4 Adventures. Sounds like that hail start. I can see it, 15 millimeters. 15 millimeter hail. Stay tuned for another video. The water there is normally clear water. What is going on? I mean, bizarre. The hail's got a lot smaller and melted away. Anyway, off topic, but interesting. I know it's only small hail, but how long does hail go for? We're still getting hail here. Still getting lightning. We get rain, goes back. It just ain't Melbourne weather. Ridiculous. What's going on? Like a river.